Hello. As discussed before, project management can be broadly classified into predictive project management, agile project management, or adaptive project management, and hybrid project management. So, in this stream, uh, we will discuss more about agile and hybrid. Agile and hybrid, in agile project management, uh, everything revolves around PDSA, that is plan, do, study, and act. In predictive project management, we were focusing about end-to-end planning, but here in agile, the thought process is you come out with a very high-level plan from start to finish, and for every 30-day cycles within that, we come out with elaborate planning. So if the project is, let's say, 12 months duration, we can break it into uh, 12 iterations of 30 days each. And when we get, before getting into the first iteration, we do the detailed planning of that iteration and we get into it. And when we complete the first iteration, then we get into a detailed planning mode for the second iteration, and then we execute it. And before getting into the third iteration, based on the learning from the second iteration, we plan for the third iteration, and likewise, the project moves forward. In traditional project management, we call this as rolling wave planning or moving window planning. That means where there is action, we have detailed plans. Things that is going to come in the future, we have only a high level, milestone level planning. That is the common thread in all agile frameworks is the iteration. So there are n number of agile frameworks like Scrum, uh, TDD, that is test-driven development, FDD, that is feature-driven development, then DSDM. There are different flavors coming up every now and then. Out of this, Scrum is the most popular one, which is almost 20 plus years now, founded by or designed by Ken Squaber and Jeff Sutherland. And that is the most popular one because it is not domain specific. It can be applied in various types of projects, whereas other models like extreme programming and stuff like that, they are applicable only to software related projects. So our discussion will focus more onto Scrum, and there are minor terminology differences because in the generic agile terms, we have the iteration. The same thing is known as a sprint in Scrum. So every iteration starts with a iteration planning meeting. The entire team participates. There is a product owner who manages the scope, and there is a scrum master uh, who is more of a project manager with emphasis on servant leadership. Uh, because in agile we are talking about self-organizing teams, so the team decides most of the things, how the work is going to be executed, etc., who will do what. Everything is decided by the team. That's why we are calling it as a self-organizing team. In such teams, all we need is, we don't need command and control managers. We need servant leaders to facilitate the work. Uh, So that is about Scrum. I'll again explain. There is a full set of requirements. We call it as a product backlog, and we come out with a very high level planning, which is known as the product roadmap, and break it into 30-day cycles or cycles lesser than 30 days. Maximum is 30 days. So if it is a 1 year kind of project, we break it into 12 iterations of 30 days each, or 24 iterations of 15 days each. And we decide which feature will be done in which iteration at a macro level. Then we get into a 1 day detailed planning meeting for the iteration one, and we lock in, or the entire team and the product owner and the scrum master agrees on a set of features that can be developed during iteration one, and they get into execution mode. We call it as sprinting, and every day there is a daily team meeting. We used to call it as a daily stand-up meeting, which is a very short meeting. If you have a 10-member team, we have a 20 minutes meeting. That means each team member will get 2 minutes to say three things to the rest of the team. That is like, what did I do yesterday? What am I doing today? And what are the challenges I'm facing? And so that I want help kind of thing. So the Scrum Master can note down all these things in the stand-up meeting and provide the help required so that the team can move forward. And at the end of the sprint, end of the 30-day cycle, there is a sprint review where all the stakeholders come together and review the progress made, and decide whether the sprint was a success or a failure. And then there is a retrospective meeting where the entire team discusses about, the things they did right, the things that need improvement. That is the retrospective meeting, and all this learning they pump back into the next iteration planning. So this is how it is done. Uh, Very interesting, and this is ideal for projects where the scope is continuously evolving and the technology is also maybe very new to the team. Typically, new product development, research and development kind of thing, or if you want to develop models using artificial intelligence through trial and error. So these kind of projects where the research and development nature is very high, we go with agile project management. So as discussed earlier, there are n number of frameworks under the agile umbrella, and Scrum is the most popular one. Uh, then comes the hybrid project management. So if we intelligently mix predictive project management and agile, some projects can give us better results. For example, if you take um, an EPC project, and within the EPC project, now let us say they during the engineering phase, uh, agile can be applied very effectively. So there is a big project. Some phases, okay, we can go with agile, and other phases we can still go with predictive styles. And now during the construction phase also in EPC projects, whenever there is a major milestone happening, they borrow elements of agile into predictive project management itself. They call it as look ahead planning and tracking it on a daily basis, where all the stakeholders come together. They come out with a last planner kind of system, or they come out with a look ahead plans, and every day they monitor and tweak their plans to meet the deadlines. So this kind of an approach which leverages both the predictive styles and the agile styles together for project success. We call it as hybrid project management. I hope you got a very high level description of agile project management. And all these agile frameworks are iterative and incremental in nature. That means they go with this 30-day iteration or lesser than 30 days. Maximum allowed is 30 days. So they go with this 30-day iteration, and every iteration increments the product by a delta. So all the agile models are iterative and incremental in nature. Thank you very much for watching this stream. I hope you got good value from this video. Thank you.